Being able to move, I would like to say it's a privilege, but I would more like to say being able to move, your ability to move, is the fact that you're able bodied. And I think sometimes we take it for granted that we're able to move. I think sometimes we take it for granted that because we can get out of bed in the morning, we can move our limbs, we can go to work, we can lift our kids up, we can make our breakfast, we can go for a run, we can go for a walk. We sometimes forget that there are others who are unable to do this. And also, I think sometimes we forget all this when we walk into a gym or when we start exercising more than we normally would. And what I mean by that is that we don't realize that we're doing the same thing. And that is what I mean by when you begin working out consistently, differently than how you were, you become self-conscious. Like, oh, I can't do this, oh, I can't do that. And then when your trainer say to you, no, you can. You're able to hinge. You're able to lift something off the ground. You're very good posture. You are not slouching. Oh my God, you are slouching. Let's fix that. You're squatting. You squat every day. You have to sit on a toilet seat. We're training you to do deadlift and you need to work on your hinge. And basically, you're not squatting. You're basically pushing your glutes back. You're pushing your bum back like you're about to sit on a seat. And then you kind of like get taken back by it and you're like, oh yeah. Oh, I didn't know this. And then you realize the simplicity of it because we have to break it down for you, you know? And it's just something I was thinking about training my client this morning in the park. And sometimes as a trainer, you kind of get into your head that maybe you're not doing it right or you are. But because you do want to help your client, you do it because you love it. And you also don't want them to feel any pain. You want them to feel good at the end of the session. You know, that's very, very important. But you also don't want them to, you want them to feel better when they leave. Okay? And when I say better, you want them to feel better mentally. You want them to feel better physically. Sorry. And most importantly, you want to be doing it with very good technique because you want them to do it with great technique. That's the whole point. You don't want them to be doing it with shit technique because that's when they'll mess up. Because remember, they're going to have to go off and do it on their own. You know, you want them to be mindful that just when they're carrying out their daily life, when they're picking something up off the ground, when they're getting up, when they're standing, when they're just standing at the computer or just daily things that they need to do, they're aware of their posture. You know, sometimes we also fail to realize that also just working out, lifting a weight, doing resistance training. Okay, people talk about, you know, losing weight, gaining muscle, being stronger. But another thing we don't talk about is the fact that lifting a weight also helps with stretching the muscle. You know, the whole idea of lifting a weight, the whole idea of using weight, you extend and you also shorten. At some point, the muscle is going to extend and at some point, the muscle is going to shorten. So like a bicep curl, which is the most simplest one, extend, shorten. You hold a weight below your body and you're squatting or lunging, it's stretching the muscle while you're working on your legs. It stretches the muscle. So it also helps with your flexibility, you know? And as you get older, this is something that's important. It's important that you don't lose your flexibility. It's important that you're able to move. You're not stiff. When you get up out of bed, you don't feel this. You know, you can get up and do things. And that is one thing I learned about training my client this morning. And I'm so happy that she chose me.